Welcome back to my channel, The Love Collective. So today I find myself here with my best friend, Jessica Herrera.
Hey guys.
And today we're going to talk about toxic relationships, moving on, and healing. Hey Jess, how are you?
It's a beautiful life. I'm doing good. How are you?
Great to hear. I'm actually doing pretty good today. I'm really excited to get into this conversation and hear your thoughts about your healing process.
It's good that you put it that way, my journey. You know, it's very much a journey, and I'm in a good space. I can honestly say that I learned how to take a step back from everything that I was feeling, the world that I had created for myself inside of like that relationship, and I learned how to listen to myself.
Okay.
You know, the most important part of the whole journey of really healing, because that's what it is, you know. After a breakup, you heal.
Right.
So in any healing journey, the most important thing that you have to do is hold yourself accountable to your emotions, whether it be about the other person's actions, your own actions, the space that you put yourself in. Holding yourself accountable is key, and really just slowing down to understand what that means.
So since you mentioned slowing down, can you tell me some of the techniques that you implemented in your life? And how long has it been since you broke up from your ex?
Yeah, so it's been about 8 months. So it's a process. It's a process. My first reaction was to book 2 trips and cut my hair. I was like, I'm out. I'm gonna be a new person. Bye.
I started this vlog. Literally after that, I was like, I need to cope somehow. What should I do?
Yeah. So how to cope with that first shock of, oh my goodness. And this is, we both left long-term relationships.
Yeah.
So we're talking about us.
2 years.
Long-term. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's a shock. You built a life with somebody. You had expectations. So to move away from all of that and really look back to yourself, it's such a precious moment. So in that precious moment, I cut all my hair and dyed it, and I was like, I'm going to Europe for a month. And unfortunately, COVID happened, so none of those things were able to come through. But the beautiful part about that was I realized that I didn't cope when I made those decisions. I reacted. And it's those reactions, those jumps to conclusions, or those jumps to actions that maybe you wouldn't have taken normally, that kind of hinder you if you don't, and you'll do that if you don't slow down. So in those times, I really learned how to slow down and sit with my pain. I said, okay, I feel this, and this about this.
Right.
Let me take 5 minutes and feel that, rather than do something to numb it, to distract me, to and in turn hurt me further, you know, eventually. And that's what really started my journey moving forward. That's what started opening doors of light into my life.
And you know, and I'll even say for me, I want to say that one of the things that helped me the most was having a community of people around me. Like, and I think like you can vouch for this, for like a really long time I self-isolated, where I thought this was normal, right? Like, I deal with my own shit, right? Like, I don't need anyone to help me. Like, I thought this person was supposed to be the person to help me heal, or to help me go through, like, you know, whenever I felt unstable, right? Like, emotionally not there. And what I learned that love has different faces, and it doesn't have a specific look. If you let love come to you, if you let real love come to you, real love will come to you. And again, like, taking responsibility for the stupid things that I did, and like the spaces that I put myself through. No, and it's, you know, and it's one of those things where we have to come to terms where we put ourselves in that situation, right? Like, I had a choice for 2 years.
Hold yourself accountable.
Right, to walk away at any point, but I kind of felt like I didn't have a choice.
Love is blinding.
Yeah.
The wrong type of love can be overwhelming.
Right, it can be overwhelming.
It can be confusing. It can be, you know, manipulated. Maybe not intentionally, but it can be manipulated. You can use that as a form of manipulation against yourself.
Right.
To keep yourself in that situation, rather than do the things that would help to heal you. Because what's easier? A familiar pain? Something that you actually, like, you know, kind of love in a sick way.
Right.
You know?
No, and I think you made a really excellent point, right? And so I think what I want to encourage you guys is to think about, how do you want to feel in these spaces, right?
Yes.
And your heart will tell you, your gut will tell you, your headaches will tell you, right? Because you're gonna have all of these like different energies move inside of you. Yes.
That intuition is real, and I
listen to your intuition.
I ignored it. I was like, my gut would tell me something, and I was like, shh. I was like, I'd be like, chill out. I'd be like, chill out. Come on. We're fine.
Everything that wasn't. You know, as we grow older, like there's a difference between being a child and like not having so much of a choice. But as we get older and we become more into ourselves and into adulthood, I had to come to terms and take full responsibility over the fact that I have all the choices in the world. Like, I was not born next to this person. I wasn't, you know, like I just met you and I allowed you in. So if I allow you in, I can also take you out, right? And again, like that takes a lot of responsibility from our own individual parts. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, where are you right now in your healing process, and how are you coping?
To answer that, I'll say that I'm exactly where I need to be and where I'm supposed to be. I feel amazing.
Okay.
I feel great. I feel myself. So that tells me that I'm in the right place. I feel like myself.
Came back home.
I came back home, mm-hmm. Exactly. I feel like the choices that I'm making now are not from a place of lack, are not from a place of confusion.
Right.
I know exactly what I want. I'm pursuing it. And I'm happy. I mean, I can't express how much light has came into my life once I started accepting how I truly feel and holding myself accountable to the boundaries that I have with other people and the situations that I put myself in. You know, once I started holding myself accountable for that and really understanding what I wanted and spending more time with myself, loving myself, for myself.
Learning what that is,
yeah.
Right.
And that could be different for everybody.
Right,
For
yeah,
me,
of course.
like loving myself and listening to myself and being present with myself, that means taking a couple hours out to read a good book. It means going on a hike. It means running every morning. It means
going to the ocean and like at 6, 7 a.m. in the morning.
Jumping in that cold water. Talk about rebirth, but
talk about rebirth.
It's you know, it's doing the things that genuinely make my soul happy.
Right.
Because you want to talk about, you know, who you were born next to. You're born next to nobody. You know, you're born with yourself, and that's the most important thing you have. That's That's the most important gift you have to take care of is your soul, your body.
Right. Tracy Ellis Ross. I remember in an interview she had mentioned, gentle, gentle, give yourself 1,000 breaks. Gentle, gentle, give yourself 1,000 more. And I heard that earlier this year, and I felt like for the first time in my life, I had like an aha moment, right? Mm-hmm. And so when I heard gentle, gentle, give herself 1,000 breaks, I'm like, I need 1,000,000.
Yeah. Like that sounds like a good idea.
But you know, like constantly like repeating myself, and I used to literally do it all the time. Like I used to repeat to myself that quote. And that with the combination of, you know, having my community of people and just little by little, like changing my internal language, like the way that I used to, the way that I used to speak to myself. Yeah. And at the time I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I was changing the language that I had inside of my head. Yeah. And by, you know, like taking like sticky notes, which, you know, I'm like a crazy sticky notes person where sometimes I'll like put sticky notes everywhere just so I can remind myself this is who you are. Yeah. Or this is where you want to get to, right? Yeah. And so one of the best things that I've learned is literally just auto-suggestion and saying it again and again and again until I fully believe it. And then it becomes part of who I am. Yeah. So with that being said, is there anything that you would want to leave our community with?
I would just leave with the sentiment that if you want something great, you have to just be. You have to be yourself, be comfortable with yourself, be comfortable loving yourself genuinely, and then the right person will come along. Right. But to look for attention, to look for, and in every sense, you know what I mean, like validation from other people, or just attention from the opposite sex.
Or the same sex.
Or the same sex, yeah, whatever sex you're interested in. That only hinders your growth. You know, you don't want somebody who's going to come into your life and say, you know, I'll take this, this, and this, but you can keep that, and you need to change that about you, and I'm not with this.
Right.
You want somebody who's going to come into your space and say, wow, this is so, like her space is, or his space is so genuinely theirs. It's so clean.
Right.
It's so honest.
Right.
I just wanna be a part of, share my space with them, let them share their space with you, and just be
Live
together.
in communion.
Live in communion. That's how it should be. You know, it shouldn't be rushed, anxious, overwhelming. It should just be.
Love should not feel like a storm. Maybe like a rainy, like a shower sometimes.
Yeah.
Definitely not like a storm. So I want to thank you so much for being here today, Jess. I think every time that we spend some time together, I learned something new every single time. And I think like the best thing that I've learned from our relationship is the power of support, of unconditional support, and how having the right love, the right community around you can change a whole world. Right? It can change a whole entire world. So please leave your comments down below, guys, on how you feel that our conversation has helped you today. And if you would like for us to have more conversations like this where we discuss, like relationships, love, how to cope and go through like certain things without feeling like you need to hinder any part of yourself, please let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I'll see you, my loves, on another session here at The Love Collective. Bye.